Welcome, weirdos. Hi, welcome back, weirdos, friends, etc. Hey, as long as you're weird, you're welcome here. You can't be that creepy weird, though. You know what I'm talking about. So, hi, everyone. How are you? I have missed you guys. Never mind my craziness. I dyed my hair today, so I'm looking like a hot mess. So we're just on the hot mess realness express today. So, anyways, I don't really know what I'm going to talk about. I just wanted to make a video today, so here I am making it. I did get some new stuff to play with, so there's that. So hopefully y'all enjoy it. If not, oh well. So, how's everyone been? I know that I have not been too good at making videos lately. That was the plan for the beginning of the year. When I got on here and did the last, get ready with me, where I let you know what I was up to and, kind of how things have been going. And then I just never really did anything. So sorry about that. Hopefully I'll get a little bit better. What would be really helpful is, first of all, thank you to the few of you who have actually, I don't know how to open this. To the few of you who have actually asked if I was going to be making any more videos and, things like that. It's really super cool to know that there's people out there that miss me or whatever. But the question is, like, originally when I started this, I had a lot of plans of things that why do I not know how, oh, there we go. Gotta be smarter than the package. So there's like a lot of things that I wanted to do, but I don't really know how to make them happen. So that's kind of like where I'm at. Considering that I'm an open and honest person, I thought about just using this as a space to talk about mental health struggles, just a place for some realness, maybe find something that you can relate to. I know sometimes these mental issues can have you feeling like, am I the only one that's just batshit crazy? No, you're not. I promise you. We're all fighting some sort of internal traumas, our inner selves. There's lots of things going on inside of each and every person, and if they're saying that it's not, then they're probably not being 100% honest. It's just my 2 cents. So I'm using the e.l.f. Flawless Satin Foundation. Have no idea if it's my color, but we'll see. I do realize that I've got to wash all my stuff. And this is also the first time I've put makeup on in probably quite a while. I don't mind my eyebrows either. I dyed them a little darker, and so like the shadow that you can see around them, it's dye. I'm a mess. I don't care. I am who I am, and you're here. So what does that say about you? Just kidding. So, I don't know about this. Might not be my color. I'm not sure I'm digging how it feels either. But, I couldn't find a foundation to match black and purple, since that's what color I've dyed my skin today while doing my hair. My dogs are in here, so if you hear them whining because they can't get out, they'll be alright. So, how has everyone been? Hopefully you have been well. I have been probably a mix of good and a mix of what the fuck. I can't really say bad because I don't really feel like any of it's been bad. It might feel bad, but ultimately it causes goodness. But I guess I've just been so I'm in therapy. A lot of you probably know this already. Dogs are getting ready to knock everything over. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. When the weather gets nice, the dogs like to be outside because, you know, God forbid anybody do anything outside, right? So where was I? Oh yeah, so I'm in therapy, and right now I am actually doing Emdr Therapy. Have you heard of it? Have you tried it? Have you been curious about it? If you would like me to talk more about it, I absolutely will. It's definitely interesting, and if it's something you're thinking about doing or want to do, the more prepared you are for what's in store, the better, probably. So, but basically, the short zhuzh of it the short summary of it that I can give you is it helps you reprocess things that have happened in your past that maybe you aren't seeing correctly. Because anyone on a journey of self-discovery will realize that there are a mess of things that at some point, or that have happened to you, and at some point those things have in some way, shape, or form changed how you view everything. Can change how you view yourself. They can change how you see reality. They can change how you view the world, how you view other people. And a lot of times those things are wrong. Majority of us, or some of us, you know, especially in situations of abuse or extremely traumatic events, some of those things are not very easy for our brain to process. And so the only way that it can process it is by trying to make sense of it. So sometimes when it makes sense of it, it doesn't tie it together correctly. Especially if you're a child. Like if you went through a lot of trauma or abuse as a child, then you have more than likely taken responsibility for things that aren't necessarily yours to take responsibility for, or you internalize things that weren't necessarily yours to internalize. And all of those things have created a view for you. And for instance, in my particular case, mine has, hold on, I forgot something, I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Mine has given me a lot of negative views. I have a tendency to always prepare myself for the worst. I always think that the worst is going to happen. I overthink, I overanalyze. And I just flat out take responsibility for things that are not necessarily mine to take responsibility for. And what happens is when those moments make you start to see life a certain way. So like in my instance, it made me feel like I was the problem. So I see the world through a lens where I'm always looking to see if I am the problem, or if I'm the reason that people aren't happy, or I'm the reason that that life was hard for someone. And even sitting here saying it, I realize how ridiculous that sounds, because you can't be in control of anyone else's life but your own. However, I'm also learning that because I think this way, and then, life came along and showed me other things that validated these views, or, kind of made me feel like, well, maybe that's right, and confirms, everything that I've already learned about me being the issue, the problem, too much to deal with, just ultimately making everyone unhappy. And I guess in this journey, I am realizing that I'm so focused on everyone else and everyone else's happiness and how everyone else is doing that I completely forget about myself. I am so busy caring for others and making sure that others' mental health is okay, because I know what it's like to not be okay, that I totally just forget about me. Like, don't even give myself a second thought. Like, I couldn't even tell you what things I enjoy, what makes me happy, as far as like sitting down and doing them by myself. Now, hanging out with my kid makes me happy, hanging out with my boyfriend makes me happy, but when I'm alone, I don't really have those things. I'm just so worried about everyone else, or I'm dealing with my own mental bullshit that I don't really do anything for myself. And I don't know when that happened. I don't know when I stopped, or if I ever did. But what I'm really trying to learn now that I've recognized this is... Sorry, I got confused and I don't really know what I'm doing. I'll just go with this pretty palette here and see what we can come up with. You guys have seen this before. I posted it on Facebook. So that's, another reason why I'm sitting here doing this video is, for a while there, makeup was something that I enjoyed. I liked playing with it. I liked making myself look different. I liked feeling good about myself. And I stopped for whatever reason. I'm still trying to figure that out. But I just need to start focusing on myself a little bit more than I have been. Instead of worrying about everyone else and what they're up to and how they're feeling, I need to do a better job about taking care of me and paying attention to me and, you know, doing those things that I enjoy, because, you know, ultimately, you have to be happy too. You have to take care of you. And slowly but surely, I'm learning that. It's been a very weird process that I wish I could explain it better than I'm explaining it now. I'm sure I'm not doing a great job because I've not made these videos in a while. I'm probably just droning on and on. Just poked myself in the eye. Like I said, no real plan, just kind of here talking. I'm sure it might be boring, or maybe it'll be helpful. I don't know. I guess we'll see, huh? I just kind of noticed that I don't really do anything to escape. I just kind of have become the type that just sits down and tries to deal with everything instead of, you know, taking a time out and like thinking, well, maybe it can be dealt with later, or, you know, whatever. I just feel like everything has to be right now, and I feel like everything needs a explanation. And that's not always the way it goes. It's not always feasible. Some things don't have an explanation. Some things just are. And I don't know. I just really need to work on finding out what makes me happy, getting back into my hobbies. You know, even if it's hopping on this video and driving people crazy, talking about nothing like I am right now. I'm just on here fucking mumbling and acting like, you know, someone cares. But, you know, maybe someone does. Maybe there's someone out there who's like, what is wrong with me? And you know what? Ultimately, there's nothing wrong with you. You may have things that you need to face and deal with, but some of that stuff takes time. Especially if, you know, life has taught you a certain thing. It's really hard to teach yourself that maybe that thing that life has taught you isn't accurate. Maybe you haven't seen it accurately. Maybe you took responsibility for things that you shouldn't have taken responsibility for. Like, I can tell you right now, if you have ever been abused mentally, physically, emotionally, that was not your fault. That was something wrong with them, or issues that they weren't facing or not coming to terms with. A lot of people are not self-aware of their problems and their hang-ups and their hurts, and a lot of people have trouble with those things, and they project. So it's never your fault that you've been abused. And you are worth loving. You are worth being taken care of. You are worth being cared about. You are worth being loved. You're an amazing person to have lived through what you've lived through. And healing from it is going to take time. And that's okay. But you don't have to take responsibility for it. You take responsibility for the fact that maybe you put up with it longer than you should have, or that you didn't stand up for yourself, or, there were only so many things you can do, but you survived, and that's what matters. But you don't have to take responsibility for their actions. It says way more about them than it will ever say about you. And I know that that's much easier to say than it is to believe, because trust me, I'm still fighting the same things. I have taken responsibility of every single person who's come along and either used me, abused me, and, made me feel like I'm crap. And I've internalized that. All of those bad things that have been done to me, I've internalized them. And I've made them my reality. That's where I went wrong. Because that's not true. That's not actual. That's not really reality. Reality is I'm worth it. And I deserve to be happy. I deserve to be loved. I deserve to love myself. I deserve better than what I've settled for from myself and from other people. I spend way too much time worrying about what other people think and how other people are feeling, that I don't pay that much attention to myself. And that's a huge problem. And that's something that I really, really, really need to work on. Because it's not fair that I don't take care of myself and I don't care about myself, but I'll turn around and take care of someone else or make someone else feel good. And I have no idea what I was talking about because my son just came in here, but that's okay. I don't really know if this is going to be worth anything or not, but I'll probably post it anyways, just because I feel like realness is better than all this fake bullshit we have going on nowadays. But yeah, I just really need to start taking better care of me. I have started, I do morning affirmations when I feel my confidence slipping. I try to remind myself of all of those affirmations that I listen to, and it works for a while, and then, things just become too much sometimes, and you feel like you gotta start all over again, and that's okay, as long as you keep fighting and don't give in to these negative thoughts and beliefs about yourself. And just take care of you. Like, I used to write poetry. I don't write poetry anymore. I used to draw all the time. I don't draw anymore. I'm just really, taking, a huge step back. And I don't really know what happened, but, oh my. That was really dusty. It's alright though. We'll figure it out. It's out this way. I don't know. I have a tendency to hyper focus. So, like, past few years, I've been hyper focused on my job. So, like, everything I did revolved around my job. Like, I did above and beyond what was asked of me. And just made my job my main focus. Before that, it was my kid. When I found out my kid had autism and needed me, I hyper focused on him. And then, then my job, I hyper focused on all of my jobs that I've had. And so I've kind of let a lot of things go, which for my kid, it was fine. It was hard to have relationships with friends or with other people because there were a lot of people out there who didn't understand him, didn't understand what was going on, didn't understand the way that I had to deal with him sometimes. You have a lot of preconceived notions about how kids should behave. Well, when they have neurological issues, the way you deal with these things is a lot different than what people are used to. And, some people could handle it and some people couldn't. And then it just got to the point where I didn't really care anymore. Because, you only get looked over so many times, or not invited so many times, or not asked so many times before you're like, okay, I get it. We're not the ones that you want around. That's fine. And so I just started hyper focusing on every other things, because focusing on the fact that I was being left out or wasn't being included, or maybe they didn't want my son around. I just kind of was like, okay, whatever. I'll just insert myself into my job, and just make that the center of my focus, as well as my child. And then I got a boyfriend and became hyper focused on that, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's not necessarily a good thing either. So I think I am really trying to adjust that focus, that hyper focus, back onto myself. Well, it's never been on me. I've never once focused on myself in my entire life. So this is going to be new to me. It's probably going to make me feel a little bit selfish, but I feel like it's what needs to be done right now. Because I spend too much time worrying about what's going to happen when, or oh my gosh, what if, or holy crap, what am I going to do when this happens? What am I going to do when that happens? Well, and you know what? You're going to be just fine. Because you've always been fine. And you'll always be fine. You have managed to get yourself this far. And you'll be able to get yourself as far as you need to go. But you just need to stop and start taking better care of yourself. Start focusing on you. Start figuring out what those things are that make you happy. What makes you feel good. What can you do to release some of that stuff besides sit there and drive yourself crazy? I have started writing a lot again. Not necessarily poems or anything like that, but just random stuff, how I'm feeling on certain days, decisions that I've made, things I've figured out about myself and the way that I'm thinking and approaching things. I find that to be very helpful. I'm hoping to start writing poems again. I'm the only person in the world that struggles with lip liner. I just feel like it, I don't know. I feel like when I watch other people do lip liner, it looks so cute. And then when I do it, it's just not, it's not the tea. It is not the, it's not what I want to do and where I want to go with my life, that's for sure. Lips aren't really for me, so I'm just going to leave it like this. But, I'm not sure the pink, is killing it with this hairdo, but I don't know. So, there we go. That's my 2 cents for the day. So, hope y'all have a wonderful day, and we'll see if this gets posted. Love y'all. Bye.